Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to share something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. One of the things I hear most often from women in this community is that they simply have more questions than answers. Maybe you've been newly diagnosed with ADHD, or perhaps you're currently navigating the assessment process. Maybe you're wondering whether hormones, perimenopause, burnout, anxiety, sensory overwhelm, or executive functioning challenges are playing a role in how you're feeling. Perhaps you're just trying to support a child or a teenager and you're not quite sure where to turn to next. So, after more than 5 years of hosting this podcast and speaking to literally hundreds of experts, writing the ADHD Women's Wellbeing Toolkit book last year, and supporting thousands of women around the world, I've realised that sometimes what people most need isn't just another podcast episode or a course or a book or a social media post. Sometimes they just need the opportunity to sit with someone and ask some questions, to talk things through, to gain more clarity, more direction, and to be pointed towards trusted resources, experts, and support options that can help them move forward with more confidence. So, this summer, I am opening up just 4 exclusive one-to-one coaching sessions where you can spend an hour with me asking anything you'd like about ADHD, well-being, hormones, burnout, your diagnosis or the process, the resources, support pathways, or navigating life as a newly aware neurodivergent woman. Think of it as an opportunity to pick my brain, tap into everything I've learned over the years in this space. And these sessions will be £195 for a 60-minute call and are available on a strictly first come and first served basis. And if a private session isn't the right fit financially, I do completely understand. And that is why I'm also hosting a live Ask Me Anything Q&A workshop. And that's going to be on Sunday, the 13th of July at 6:30 p.m. That's UK time. And this will be a more accessible way in a group setting to bring your questions, learn alongside other women, and leave feeling more informed, empowered, and supported. And if this sounds like exactly what you've been looking for, I'd encourage you to pause the episode right now and head straight to the show notes. All the details are going to be there to either book those very limited one-to-one coaching sessions with me or reserve your place on the live group Q&A workshop. I'd really love to support you wherever you are on your ADHD journey. And now let's get on with today's episode. Welcome back to a More Yourself episode here on a Monday. And today I'm sharing something that I think is really, really helpful and useful from a workshop that I did within the More Yourself membership community, which is where we really go into a bit more of a deep dive about different topics with guest experts and workshops with myself and an opportunity just to connect. It's a really wonderful resource. And we did a workshop where it was a bit of a Q&A, and I really wanted to share some of the reflections here on the podcast because I think they'll be so helpful. And we had themes of managing our dysregulation and explosive emotions in both ourselves and our children, and also managing the family dynamic and emotional landscape in the house. So we talk about self-regulation and prioritizing our own regulation, finding our triggers, whether it is through sleep, food, hydration, and to better co-regulate our kids as well through all of this with, phones and devices. And we go into things like small tweaks, nothing about bigger overhauls, just those small incremental changes, and then having conversations once everything has calmed down. And as always, I always talk about self-compassion, those small steps, and how we can use EFT as a release tool for helping sort of bring down the charge, bring down the emotional dysregulation, and finding those more safer, healthier emotional releases through more somatic modalities like dancing or singing or screaming or shaking, running, chanting, whatever that might be. So I really, really hope that this episode helps you validate yourself, gives you some ideas about releasing those very charged emotions and moving through them as well, so we're not staying stuck in those difficult moments. So I really hope that today's episode is helpful. And as always, I do love hearing from you. And remember that I do have lots of resources on my website. So if you do want to go further into EFT or tapping or emotional regulation, or really leaning into our self-trust and helping to sort of calm and regulate ourselves, I have lots of different workshops all on my website, which is ADHD womenswellbeing.co.uk. Here's today's episode. I always say with our children, it is very, very important that we look after ourselves first, and then we're able to then manage, regulate, however you want to look at it, our children, especially if they're in some form of dysregulation, meltdown. We need to be the ones that feel kind of calm and regulated. And that's really hard to do when we are maybe feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, exhausted. So, what I would say to you is let's start with your own dysregulation and see, almost like work backwards, what contributes to it. Are you able to notice what that might be? Is it because you're not getting enough sleep? What's contributing to the lack of sleep? It can often be we've been on our phones all day and our nervous system is so hyped up, or we've been on email, or we've just been on all day. And then when we get home and we have children that are very like needy, who have also been on all day, it's kind of like a bit of a clash of nervous systems. So I would have a little think about what is causing yourself to feel dysregulated. And could that be, honestly, it's like working backwards. Was it too much caffeine, not being hydrated? Is it not moving your body enough? Have you gone outside? Have you had any fresh air? Have you checked your phone from the beginning? You know, you woke up first thing and you've just been scrolling, and then it's just been do consistently through the day, where you've not even had a minute to breathe. You've not had a minute to yourself. And when we can work backwards for ourselves, then we're able to settle and ground and calm ourselves in really small ways, whether that is standing outside, taking some breaths, whether it's walking around the block, drinking another glass of water, making sure that you're having protein in the morning, first thing, you're having a good breakfast. It's all these little tiny tweaks. It's never just one big thing. And it's never just one big, I'm just going to do this one big thing and everything's going to be fine. It is always little tweaks. And then identifying your child's regulation. And that can often be your child needs to co-regulate with you. So if you're in a regulated state, or you're then able to, maybe when they're having something to eat, or maybe when they're a little bit more chilled, you're able to say, you know, I noticed that you were feeling a little bit het up before. I noticed that you were feeling angry or frustrated or whatever that might be. And now that you've calmed down a little bit, do you have an idea of what that might be? Because in the moment, they're not going to know, but it might have been someone might have said something to them at school. It might have made a comment, or they may have felt left out, or work is feeling overwhelming, or a teacher said something to them that really kind of like triggered them. And it's kind of like breaking it down, because sometimes when you're neurodivergent, it's just the compounded effect. We might not know. And I really do believe that technology, social media, being on our phones is a massive element of feeling dysregulated and not knowing why we're feeling dysregulated. I was with a friend for a couple of days this week, and she has an Apple Watch. She had her phone away. She was trying to, like, you know, disconnect a little bit. Her Apple Watch was just beeping the whole time. And I said to her, I was like, does that not drive you mad? That you're constantly like being interrupted and you're doing something. She was in the middle of a conversation, or she'd be having dinner, or and it would just be like a ping, or it would be a WhatsApp message, or it would just be something. And those constant micro interruptions where she's got to reset herself, and it would be like, oh, what was I talking about again? Just that in itself. And so she was like, oh, it's always on. Like, I don't even notice it. I was like, well, you must notice it, because every 2 minutes there's a ping on your Apple Watch. So actually, that kind of conversation made her more aware. It gave her more awareness as to what what perhaps was like dysregulating her on a micro level, which then contributes to a macro level. And I think many of us have been taught as women that we need to repress and push down and behave and not be, whatever it might be, too sensitive, too loud, too anything, too emotional. And so we have been conditioned just to suppress and push down. Um, and so it's an acknowledgement of that and a recognition of perhaps what is the trigger to that, but also allowing yourself moments or times or pockets of time where you are able to release those emotions. It's not exactly the same as this, but I was talking to someone the other day whose daughter has ADHD and she is only about 8. I want to say 7 or 8. And she sometimes says to her mum, I just want to shout in the air, like loads of swear words. And I just want to scream and shout because she's been sat in school all day, been told to sit still, not be disruptive, stop calling out, all of that micro criticisms where she's just been told, just stop being a nuisance, stop being a bother. And so thankfully, her mum, she said, right, here's what I'd suggest. Go upstairs to your bedroom, shut the door, and go and shout all the things that you want to shout. Go and scream, go and run around your room. And, as long as she's not hurting herself or doing anything, but it's giving her that allowance. It's giving her that opportunity, or go outside in the garden, do that, go and shout and scream and jump up and down, and no one's going to stop you. And you're allowed to express yourself. You're allowed to release this emotion. So again, it's coming back to yourself and saying you are allowed, you give yourself full permission, but hopefully in a way that is not in a way that's going to hurt you, harm you. But whether that is, again, with women, we have like a throat chakra issue where we are closed. We're not allowed to say what we want, say what we mean. We've been stifled and repressed. And sometimes we just need to go and scream in a car. We need to go and shout in the woods. We almost have to teach ourselves to release our emotions. We've not been taught. I went recently to like a retreat and we worked solely on our throat chakra. So it's through humming, clearing, chanting, breath work. And it was opening it up, allowing ourselves to use our voice and not be afraid of our voice, not be afraid of the repercussions if we say what we feel. And again, I say it all the time, as women through the generations, it's been systemic, it's been conditioned to keep quiet, stiff upper lip, whatever that might be. And it's a relearning. So just give yourself a lot of love and compassion for that, but allow yourself safe places to go and let it out. This is what women used to do. We've just been deconditioned, and then it comes out in another way, and it comes out in unhealthy ways, whether it's addiction, disordered eating, abusive situations in different capacities, self-criticism, imposter syndrome, illness. The list goes on. The most important thing is releasing every day. And that is, I go back to EFT all the time, because for me, that's the most powerful modality, because I can just tap and talk and I will feel that release. I'll feel it. I'll feel the tears. I'll feel the yawning. Even yawning is a release. Don't ever underestimate. Someone said to me, if you can create, like almost make yourself yawn like 3 times, that in itself is a release. But also things like singing, joining a choir, just singing out loud in the car. Sometimes if I'll like turn the music really high and I'll like sing, but I'll almost actively try and activate the throat, like here. So it's like a deeper, so you can really feel that throat chakra opening up, but also like omming. So you can go onto YouTube and, find some chants, yoga, Buddhist, whatever that works for you, and use that. But physical release, running, dancing, shaking is a really, really good one, where you literally just stand and you jump up and down and you shake. That dispels quite a bit of stuck energy as well. Everyone gets stuck energy, and sometimes it can come out in trickier ways as well, but there's no shame in that. I don't know if anyone's been to I've seen that they have these like smash rooms where you go and you literally go and you like break things. It's a bit extreme, but it feels, I bet it's quite cathartic. You just go and throw loads of plates and it's all like in a safe space. I don't know how many opportunities there are in different cities for that. I'm going to reflect back on what I've been hearing a little bit and just allow yourself to process what you are going through and validate yourself, because we'll never get the same validation that from someone else that we need. So just giving yourself that self-compassion that perhaps no one else is giving you can settle and ground and calm your nervous system as well. Thank you for being here and listening to today's episode. I just want to remind you that if you are looking for more support on your ADHD journey, there are so many resources waiting for you over at adhdwomenswellbeing.co.uk. So inside the ADHD Women's Wellbeing Workshop Library, you'll find practical and compassionate guidance on topics such as nervous system regulation, rejection sensitive dysphoria, perfectionism, emotional regulation, hormones, parenting, and so much more, all designed specifically for late diagnosed neurodivergent women. You can also explore my new book, The ADHD Women's Wellbeing Toolkit, which was published by DK, which is also available in ebook and audiobook, which is packed full of tools to help you feel calmer, more regulated, and more like yourself. And if you do crave a bit more deeper connection and ongoing support, come and join us inside the More Yourself community. It's a gentle space for learning, reflection, and connection with other neurodivergent women. And you'll also find the recordings from our first ever ADHD Women's Wellbeing live event, which brought together incredible speakers and a room full of inspiring women for a truly special day. We have recorded it all for you and it's there to buy. So whether you're just starting your journey or looking to go deeper, there's something there for every stage. Just head to adhdwomenswellbeing.co.uk to explore everything. And as always, thank you so much for being here and for being part of this community.